In this video, we are going to talk about how your morning routine is actually making you unsuccessful. It's making you waste time, money, and energy, all to make you unsuccessful, and what you can do about it to regain control over your morning, which makes you gain control over your day and get those goals down and accomplished. So let's get into it. But before we do, my name is Maria Sophia. I am an intuitive healer, an energy medicine practitioner. I'm actually a trained psychotherapist working as a life coach and a death doula. I've got more degrees than a thermometer, so hopefully my wisdom will be of value to you. Now let's get into it. The anti-morning routine. To be clear, I am not anti you having a morning routine. What I'm anti is people selling you stuff that you don't need, don't want, and aren't going to use in order to achieve some imagined aesthetic or aspirational goal that is just completely unrealistic. I am very much pro you having time for yourself in the morning, you grounding into your day, understanding your goals, understanding yourself, giving yourself space and love. That's really what the morning routine is about, how this morning routine is set up that I'm going to be sharing with you. It is anti-hustle. It is anti-toxic positivity. And it is pro you, pro your goals, and pro having peace in your day and space in your day for yourself and everything that you're trying to accomplish. That is the intention. So let's get into the very first and most important point with anything, with any kind of practice, whether it be spiritual or practical, is to know yourself, to have self-awareness. This is the key and foundational point, because if I'm not a morning person and I am being influenced or made to feel bad by an influencer that I am following on YouTube or any other social media platform, if I'm following that person and they wake up at some unholy hour, like 2:00 in the morning, because they're so amazing, they're so spiritual, they're so enlightened, they're so productive, they're so successful, all these things, but I'm not a morning person, I'm only gonna feel shame watching this person. And not only that, I'm going to compare myself to somebody who either has sponsors paying them to promote certain products, or someone who wants to have sponsors. So they are positioning themselves as this authority, and morning routine videos do really, really well, FYI, on social media platforms, because people are very allured by the siren song of the morning routine. It's a spell that has been cast on us. Any kind of routine. I don't know why. I don't know the psychology around it, but it's a thing. So we need to know ourselves. And in order to know ourselves, we need to understand our body cycles. Are we a morning person? I'm a morning person. I like waking up at 5:30 in the morning, but some people don't. Some people could barely get up at 9:00 or 10:00 in the morning. So we need to know ourselves and not have any shame over that, and to really accept ourselves exactly as we are in the place that we are. Now, can we always improve and be better and do more or be more? Absolutely. But let's take shame out of the game. So no more looking at these content creators who bring in shame into your life because of morning routines or anything actually that they do. And I really want everyone to pay attention. It's an invitation again. I like working with invitation. I would like everyone, I'm inviting everyone to look at the content that they consume, specifically around morning routines and maybe goal setting and PM routines, looking at who you're watching and why you're watching them. The why you're watching them, why you're consuming the content, is actually more important than the content itself. What does it trigger in you? There's this thing that I see that I've experienced firsthand, so I could speak to it. Sometimes we select people that we find to be quote unquote better than us, more successful, more beautiful, more intelligent, whatever it is, whatever your more XYZ is. And we like to almost watch them to compare ourselves so that we can feel shame and guilt and down and not enough. It's almost a way to build a case with this evidence. See this person over here, look how great they are, and look how terrible you are. You can't even wake up at 2:00 in the morning and drink 17 liters of green juice. but this person can somehow. And they have 15 children and they run 14 nonprofit organizations and they have a dog kennel in their backyard and they help strays find homes. Like, we try to find this evidence to support the fact that we believe our thought pattern, those continuous thought patterns and belief systems, imagine limitations and disabilities. We want to believe that we're not good enough. So we find evidence out there. And social media and YouTube are the perfect place to find those people, because everything on YouTube, even this video, is produced. I write scripts, I edit videos, and I don't have a team. It's just me. But there are people out there who this is their livelihood. So they create a whole land, a whole vision, a whole brand around an aesthetic. And the AM routine where they sell you teas and potions and lotions and a 25-step skincare routine and all of that, it's part of their deal. So really looking at yourself, why you decided to consume this content, who is it that you follow, and then is it because you want to build a case against yourself to create shame and doubt and not enoughness in your life? So I think that's an important thing psychologically to look at. And then the last thing I'll say within this know thyself portion is, what are your goals? I know that's a really big question, and I'm going to create a video all about how to set sane goals that are actually rooted and grounded, but just enough of a stretch, because I see people doing goal setting and it's another tool. Again, it's another tool to make them feel not enough, and they never stick with achieving those goals. And then it becomes this really awful negative feedback loop. So what are your goals? Like, every day, what would your goal like to be? Is it about ease and grace? Is it about accomplishing, finishing a degree, or maybe creating something beautiful, or a piece of art, or raising your children, or whatever it is for you, having some goals, very simple, basic goals, so that you can move from there. That's your jumping off point into your daily life. So we are going to get into our second point, and it is, you do not need to wake up at some unholy hour to get your morning routine done. Okay. Now, I'm speaking to the people who maybe have quote unquote 9-to-5 jobs, people who need to be at work at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning. Shift work is much more challenging to infuse protocols, and because your days are so different. If you're a shift worker, for instance, if you're a nurse and you work in the ICU or the ER, your shift may start at 4 p.m. or 7 p.m. and it'll go to the next morning. So it's harder to give standard, okay, at 7 a.m. you're going to do this, because your day doesn't start that way. So take everything that I say here with a pinch of salt, with a grain of salt, and work it so that it works for you. And whatever doesn't resonate, you can, of course, toss that to the side. Whatever resonates, allow that to be applied to your life, whether you're a shift worker or you have a 9-to-5 job. But for 9-to-5 job folks, you don't need to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, let me give you a little caveat here. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning for very specific reasons. Now, I don't do it every day. I will have, for instance, and I'll make a video about plant dietas a little bit later, but if I am working with a specific plant, say I'm working with a rose, what I do is I create this container for myself where I'm working with a specific plant, so rose, and I really want to connect with the plant spirit of the rose. And for me, I like to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm doing dietas. This is not every day, and this is not even every month, where I'm working with that plant, where I'll drink the tea that's made from rose, and then I'll meditate, and then I'll write. I personally like that. Now, if I was not a morning person and I preferred to do it late at night at like midnight, great, that would be fine. But for me, I do wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning for certain reasons. If I need to pick up someone from the airport, or if I need to go to the airport, I will wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning if I need to. So, but day to day, in order to accomplish your goals, you don't need to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. And some of these influencers have to wake up that early because their self-care, their morning routines are so elaborate that it would take 6 hours for you to feasibly complete everything that they have on their list. So it's unrealistic. You need to wake up at a time that's reasonable for you. And we're going to get into that as we move forward into the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty of your personalized AM routine, the anti-AM morning routine. So let's get into the nuts and bolts. A great morning starts with a good night, the night before. I will be doing a whole grounded spiritual nighttime routine in a little bit that I'll be posting this week, but this is the AM routine. So let's just do a couple of points to look at when it comes to your nighttime routine. Are you doom scrolling? Are you eating really heavy foods late at night? Do you have the Sunday scaries that have turned into the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday scaries? And one of my favorite things, which I never had a name for this, but now I do, and I completely understand how people can get caught up in this particular thing, but it's revenge sleep procrastination. So let me define this, because this was new to me maybe a year and a half. No, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was brand new and it blew my mind because I was doing it and I didn't have a name for it. And the light just kind of clicked. So revenge sleep procrastination is when you're so externally focused every single day throughout the day, and you're constantly doing things for everybody, whether it's your family or work or friends or just externally focused, that your days are filled. You know, you got your calendar and it's just blocked with Zoom meetings, 12 Zoom meetings, true story. That actually was me before. It's so blocked down with other people's meetings, other people's needs, other people's shoulds and have tos, that at night, when it's time for you to go to sleep, you actually will push back what's naturally your body telling you to go to sleep, all because you don't have the time in the day. You don't have any quote unquote me time in the day. So you push back your sleep time, and you may be doom scrolling. That's one of the main things that people do. Or they'll just lay in bed, just, I don't even know what, just doing silly things, not focusing on anything, dozing maybe in and out. But your revenge sleep procrastination will have you going to sleep later and later in the day because you're trying to create some time for yourself, some time as a way to soothe yourself, to take care of yourself. And you see this as a treat, this window of time, but you're actually robbing and stealing yourself of time sleeping, which is so important. I'll have another whole video on sleep hygiene because it is the bedrock to your health. More so, I think, than anything is really sleep. It's very foundational. To be totally transparent, I have had sleep issues since I was 13 years old for many, many reasons, which I'm not going to get into now, but I will get into in that sleep hygiene video. So your day really starts, your morning routine really starts at night. If you're able to write a to-do list at night, it doesn't have to be an Excel spreadsheet of all the things you need to do the next day. If it could be like 5 things that are really important for you to do, if you can do that at night, fantastic. It's not a requirement. If you can set aside your clothes the night before, that's also really helpful, because then there isn't the decision fatigue in the morning and the rushing around and all of that. So again, make some lists at night. Make sure that you are able to set out some clothes. Have a curfew for your phone at night. It is recommended that you don't see any screens with any blue lights 2 hours prior to sleep time. I know that's a stretch for some people. So if you can, I say an hour. You have to meet yourself where you are without guilt or shame. So 2 hours is optimal. That'd be fantastic. But if you can only do 1 hour, that's fine. If you could do 30 minutes and that's all you can do, because of whatever situation, try to push yourself to make that curfew larger and larger in terms of time if you can. So we started off our AM with our PM, and now we're going to talk about wake up times. You need to find a time that you're going to set one alarm One alarm, not 25 alarms that are 5 minutes apart or snooze or any of that. One singular alarm on your phone or on an alarm clock if you have one. I suggest getting one of those. They're these circular alarm clocks. You can get them on Amazon. I can link them in the description below, where it mimics sunlight. And I think it's great. You can do it that way, but set one alarm. But more importantly, select a time that is reasonable for you to wake up. Maybe it's 30 minutes before your wake up time normally is as a stretch, so you can have a rational and reasonable morning routine. Maybe it's an hour before your kids wake up. Whatever is reasonable for you, you set that one alarm, just one alarm, not 25 alarms starting at 4 o'clock in the morning, and every 30-minute interval is another alarm. No, one alarm. You set that one alarm with no snooze. You pick that reasonable time to wake up, and you're done. You're done. Okay, we've set the alarm. It's a reasonable hour. It's a reasonable time to wake up. And now it's the morning, and that reasonable alarm has gone off. What do? What you do is you get up and you get out of bed. You do not hit snooze. I'm going to be very Mel Robbins right now. If you need to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to get out of bed, do that. I suggest, as Mel Robbins actually is the one who suggested, that you put that alarm in the bathroom, not in your bedroom and not in your bed. Please, please, please. We need to stop sleeping with our phones in our beds. And I got this download, I think it was like 2 days ago, where I woke up and I actually was in bed with my phone. And I'm currently single. And there was this voice that came to me and said, one of the reasons why you're single is because you've replaced someone in your bed with a phone. I was like, oh, that hurts. That hurts. Really? I've replaced a person with a phone? That's where I've gotten to, that place. And this still small voice did say that. So I'm committing to having my phone not in my bed and not in my bedroom. Now, I understand if the bathroom might be far away and you don't want to do that, maybe it'll disturb other people. Please have it far away from where you're sleeping, as far away as you possibly can. I know it's hard, but no phones in the bed. And if you can, if possible, no phones in the bedroom. If not possible, somewhere far away in the bedroom is where you would put your phone. You had the alarm go off, the reasonable alarm. You need to get up out of your bed to actually turn off the alarm. You turn off the alarm, but you do not engage with your phone in any other way. You do not scroll on Instagram. You do not check email. You do not do anything. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You just turn off that alarm, period. The next 30 minutes to an hour in your day are a no-fly zone when it comes to phones. I know this is hard, and I know you've heard this advice before, but when you open the portal that is your phone, you're allowing any kind of garbage to come in, any kind of trash to come into your life, into your energy. We want to keep our energy as calm, as centered, as peaceful as possible before we have to deal with the day and the demands of the day. This is really your time. Your phone is not your companion in this. You are the captain of this ship, not the phone, not who's going to be on Instagram or on YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Those people are not the captain of your ship. You are the captain of this ship. So for 30 minutes to an hour, I really stress this. Please, no phone usage. Now, Brenda Turner talks about for the first 5 minutes of the day, you are in silence. And I totally agree with this. I would say get out of your bed. Do not be tempted to be like, oh, I'm going to meditate in my bed for XYZ minutes, or I'm going to pray in my bed, laying down in my bed the same way that I was sleeping. No. We're either, if you want to meditate or pray in your bed, either sit up or get out of your bed and go into it, go sit in a chair. We are going to avoid staying in our beds once that alarm has gone off. The alarm goes off, you get out of bed, you turn the alarm off, and then you're sitting in quiet, in silence. You do not engage with phones or people or anything for 5 whole minutes. And I just call this mindful awareness. Within, if you don't want to meditate, you don't have to meditate. If you don't want to pray, you don't have to do that. All you're going to do is breathe. And again, this is something that Brenda Turner talks about. Breathe and just be mindful of your body. Just be mindful that you have a breath. Be mindful of your skin. Be mindful of your limbs, your hands, your arms, your legs, your head, your neck. Just be mindful. Be aware that you're alive. Be aware that you're alive for 5 minutes. No need, again, in silence. We're not engaging with anyone, just ourselves and our breath. So we're going to engage with that life force that we are, our breath, our prana, our chi, whatever words you want to use, but we're just going to engage with that for 5 minutes. After those 5 minutes have elapsed, then we are going to go and get some sunlight. We, in this country, in the United States of America, we are very, very vitamin D deficient. And supplements are great, but nothing can replace the sun. The sun is an incredible medicine. And I think there's this great book, it's called The Power of the Sun, and it talks about sun gazing. I'm not saying you have to sun gaze, but it's something maybe you should look into. I can do a video on sun gazing if it'd be helpful. And what you're going to do is when the sun rises, if you're able to, sit and maybe even walk for 5 minutes in the sun. The sun is absorbed through your skin and through your eyes, so no sunglasses. And I'm not talking about, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, everyone. I'm not a physician. So these are practices that I've learned that have helped me through my own research and trial and error. So I'll go outside for 5 minutes and I'll just walk around, I'll pace around, and I'll allow the sun to hit my face without sunglasses. This is very early in the morning. I'm talking about right when the sun rises, and that'll depend on where you live in the world and what the season is. So if you're able to do that, sun is so important, and allow yourself to really feel that sun and take it in and receive it. It's so healing, and I highly recommend it. It changes your circadian rhythms. It signals to your brain that, oh, it's time to wake up. It's time to move in the day. It's time to get things done. The night is over. We're awake now. We're alive. Not like you weren't alive when you were sleeping, but it's that signal to your brain, the awake signal. Now, I'm not saying to do this at noon, high noon. I'm talking about right when the sun has risen. Now, some people live in places where there's not a lot of sunlight. There is also they look like mirrors that you can purchase off of places. I don't even want to say their name, but you can purchase these light up mirrors that give the same kind of effect that the sun would. You can certainly do that. You could even go outside if the sun is not out, but maybe it's cloudy. The sun still is penetrating in some ways, but try to get outside for 5 minutes if at all possible. Highly, highly recommend it. Being very honest, I am addicted to coffee. I'm very much addicted to coffee. I think it's the only thing that I'm addicted to. And Dr. Andrew Huberman talks about not drinking coffee first thing when you wake up or within, the 20-minute window of you waking up. And I have tried this and it has worked. He recommends 90 minutes. So 90 minutes, waiting 90 minutes until you actually drink coffee. I try to push it to 2 hours or maybe 3 hours after I've woken up. Now, the reason why is because that arc of how the coffee works, the caffeine works in your system, doesn't have you crash in a very specific way during the day because you drank that coffee so early. in your day. So it changes the arc of the caffeine in your system, and it creates that lack of crash, which I definitely can say and can attest that it does work. So after we've gotten our sunlight, drink a glass of water, not coffee, not anything with caffeine. So green tea, white tea, all of those things have caffeine. I believe actually green tea has more caffeine than coffee, but coffee pushes your adrenals in a different way than green tea would. Angela Agrios, she's a naturopathic doctor. She has amazing information on caffeine. You should check her out. Now, we've gotten our sunlight, we drank our water, not our coffee, and now a little bit of movement. Movement could be gentle stretching. It doesn't have to be a full yoga sun salutation. It could be just a few just gentle stretches, 5-10 minutes. You can take a brisk walk outside if it's safe to do so, or you can walk around in your house for 10 minutes, but you're not cleaning. If you want to make your bed, go ahead and make your bed. I like making my bed, but people have put some sort of grand allure around, oh, a millionaire habit is making your bed every single day. I don't know how true that is. I understand possibly the psychology of completing one thing in your day and having it look a certain way would psychologically impact you positively. I get that, but I don't think it's the end all be all to success is waking up at 1:30 in the morning to do your skincare routine that's 400 different things and then taking 17 million supplements and then also making your bed. I don't think that's the thing. If you want to make your bed, go ahead. I like making my bed, but get in some movement. If you like to go to the gym and gym is your part of your lifestyle, that's great. Once we complete our steps of just this basic morning routine, then I'm going to give you all the rest of the things that go along with the morning routine that you can mix and match to suit your life and your needs. So let's get a little bit of movement, 5-10 minutes. Stretching is really good. You can get a mat and just place it next to your bed and start doing some stretches. You can go in the living room or whatever's comfortable for you and works for you, do that. Final step is gratitude. Gratitude. Thank you for being alive. Thank you that I'm alive. Thank you that I'm a human. Thank you that I live on planet Earth. Thank you for where I live. Thank you for the sun. Thank you for water. Thank you for power. Thank you for electricity. Thank you that I'm able to hug my kids. Thank you that I have loved ones in my life. Thank you for this physical body. I love it just the way it is. You get my point. Gratitude is the most powerful attitude, is gratitude. And I personally start my day with writing 4 things that I'm grateful for, or 5 things, as many as I'd like, at least 4 things. I don't know why 4, I just like the number 4. You can also just speak out your gratitude list. You don't have to write it down, but there is something so magical about writing things down, not typing them on the computer, but actually writing things out with a pen and a paper, or a pencil and a paper. I personally am such a writer, so I love writing down my gratitude, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Gratitude is the last step. So we went through all of that morning routine, picking a reasonable time to wake up for you, setting one alarm, waking up, getting out of bed, having that 5 minutes of mindfulness, breathing, getting some sunlight, doing some movement, drinking some water, and our gratitude list. So here are 2 things that you can do, maybe as like some bonuses after this routine, which should not take you more than 20 minutes, by the way. This whole thing should not take you more than 20 minutes. If it takes you a little bit longer because you want to do more, a little more yoga or a little more stretching, or maybe you want to take a longer walk, that's fine. Or maybe you want to be in the sun a little bit longer because it's such a beautiful day, that's totally fine. But this, at the most basic level, should not take you more than 30 minutes. It should really be around 20. Now, the bonus situation is creating a mantra for your day. My mantra for the day is that I will move through my day with ease and flow, or ease and grace. It's not the place to do to-dos. The other bonus is looking at your to-do list from the night before and maybe editing, adding, subtracting, doing whatever you need to do to that to-do list. I like to do to-do lists because they help to organize my brain. But if you're not a to-do list person, you don't need to do that. Again, I found it helpful. It brings in structure into my day. I personally like doing it, but again, you don't have to do it. So those are the nuts and bolts of our morning routine. Now, do you need to eat breakfast? If you eat breakfast, you probably need to eat breakfast. So you go and eat your breakfast. Do you like going to the gym? Like I said before, go ahead, go to the gym, take care of that. Do you need to take a shower in the morning to wake up? Great, you do that. If you don't and you take it at night, also good. You probably will need to get dressed in some way. Go do that too. As I said earlier, have your clothes picked out beforehand. I would say even at night, if you're questionable about an outfit, if it fits well, try it on at night. Don't try it on in the morning and then you're scrambling. Again, decision fatigue is a really big thing, especially when it comes to clothes. I don't know if you know the designer Michael Kors. If you ever see him, he's always wearing the exact same thing. He's wearing jeans or slacks, a black t-shirt, like a crew neck t-shirt, or maybe like a mock neck, and then a blazer. The man wears the same thing all the time because decision fatigue. I remember listening to something about Barack Obama having all of his suits for every single day just laid out in his closet exactly on the day that he's going to wear them. Obviously, we all don't have personal stylists that we could just snap and they'll be there to organize our closets, but try to build in as few decisions in your day at the beginning of your day as possible. Again, we want to build peace in our day. We want to build in space in our day. So we're not rushing around. We're not being influenced, which I definitely think is causing a lot of harm because we have all of these influencers with these crazy aspirational 25-step skincare processes that are just not realistic. You would need to wake up at like midnight in order to do this 6-hour process. It just is not realistic. And a thing about influencers is that they just want to sell you stuff a lot of the times. And, that's what they want to do. That's their job. I get it. But you don't need to be distracted by them. You don't need to be influenced by them. I will die on this hill. I think that people should have their own personal sovereignty and they should be free of the distractions of other people telling them how to live their lives and saying that this is the best way because this is how I do it. And I have XYZ number of followers. So therefore, I am more of an authority on your life than you are. And I've created a free ebook that helps you to de-influence yourself. You can get it on my website. Again, it's a free ebook. It has a workbook in it as well. It's the workbook is to help you clear out social media confusion and influencers and other accounts. It really goes step by step on how to digitally detox yourself from influencers. My website is themariasofia.com. Again, that's themariasofia.com. And my free ebook is available there. I also have lots of other resources that you can check out. But at the end of the day, you need to make a morning routine that is going to be yours, that is for your life, for your goals, not someone else's. So take back control of your morning and your day and de-influence yourself with this morning routine. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.